Hey guys, Becky here, FiveTwoBaker. Welcome back to my channel. So this week we're going to start off a three-part series of tutorials / demos on painting on cake. This week we'll be doing gel food colors. After this we'll do cocoa butter with color dust, and then finally we'll do color dust with food grade alcohol. The surfaces that I'll be demoing this on are white fondant, dark fondant, white ganache, and buttercream. Each painting style that we'll be going over is very different and looks very different on each cake surface, so hopefully seeing this gives you a better idea of what type of painting you'd like to try out, what would be best for you, and where you'd like to invest your money, because some are less expensive and some are a lot more expensive. So let's get to it. So there are a few things I love about painting with gel food colors, and one is the setup is so easy. You just need a drop of gel food color and a little bit of food grade alcohol next to it and you're good to go. The other thing is gel food colors can be so inexpensive, so you don't really need to think about mixing colors. You can just buy the color if you want, and it's not that much money. And finally, you can get away with using one brush if you like, because you can wash your brush in between colors, so that makes it super easy and you just don't need a lot of materials. So to start, we're going to go ahead and use a white fondant top. As you'll see, the color goes on super smooth. You get a nice solid color if you're going in dark, and because it's fondant and it's a little firmer, I can use the belly of my brush to press down and get a more fanned out effect for my petals or any of my paintings, and it's not going to dent the fondant. The other thing that I like is it dries quick, but not so fast that I can't stop to blend colors if I wanted to. And because it's so wet, the gel food color along with the food grade alcohol, even after it's dry, I can still do a little bit of blending. It's not like painting with markers. Now, what I dislike is that if you're going for dark colors, it's a little harder to achieve. Sometimes you have to use a lot more gel color, because if not, if you go light, the undertones will come out. So in this purple, the blue comes out, and the same thing happens in black. I have to paint almost exclusively with gel food color to get a true black. And the other thing is you can't have your brush too saturated, because fondant loves to absorb all of that. It will swell up and it will begin to melt just a little bit, and you're going to see that it's going to come out in a shine, and it's going to take a really long time to dry. So as long as you can manage your dark colors and you can manage how wet your brush is, the coloring itself comes out like watercolor. It dries quick, it's super clean looking, and I absolutely love it. Now, when you're painting on the dark fondant, you have all the same benefits, all the same warnings that I give. The only thing is, because it's a little bit more watercolor-like in how it looks and gel colors are more translucent, you don't get a color pop against the dark background. It's almost as if you're looking at something in the dark. You can see it's there, you can make it out, you might even be able to tell some of the color, but it's not very clear. So unless my aim was to paint a field in the dark, I wouldn't really use gel colors on a dark fondant, but it still looks nice if that's what you're going for. Now with ganache, you have to remember that gel color has water in it, food grade alcohol has water in it. Ganache has chocolate, which has cocoa butter, which is fat, and it also has cream, which is fat, and fat and water don't mix. So when you're painting on here, you're going to see that right away the gel colors want to bead up and the color does not settle on your ganache as smoothly and as evenly as it would on fondant. It'll still take the color and you have to work a little harder to get it to stay on there, but it is going to bead up. Also, because it's beading up, it's going to take a little longer to dry because now everything is almost in like little puddles unless you can get it to settle by working at it. Because it's ganache, it's a little firmer, so you can work at it a little more and it won't dent it, but it's just that extra work. The colors do look beautiful though, and the effect almost look like a watercolor, like it's been rained on. I still think it's really pretty. You can blend colors fairly well. It's just not very smooth. Finally, with buttercream, again, the fat wants to repel the water, and so while it will color, it's not going to be super smooth. It's not going to look like a clean image would on fondant. So just keep that in mind. Also, if you're painting on buttercream, you really need to make sure that your buttercream is set very hard. Leave it in the fridge overnight and try to work quickly. Even though my buttercream set overnight, I can't press the belly of my brush down to get those beautiful fanned out petals. I have to be a lot more careful because it is still a very soft medium, and so I have to be more careful with that to not press down on it and not dent it. The color takes pretty well. You can go over it a few times as long as you're careful to blend it in a bit better, but I wouldn't be painting faces with this. I would definitely leave this as more abstract, a little bit more for a watercolor effect, just because you do have to be so careful with it, and you do have to continue popping it in the fridge if you're working in a warm climate or if you work a bit more slowly. And these are the 4 mediums all dried, so hopefully it gives you a better idea of what to expect with gel colors on each of these mediums. Alright guys, as always, if you enjoyed this, please do give the video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already. I would super appreciate that. And if you have any questions, any comments, any thoughts on your experiences with painting on cakes with gel food colors, drop them down in the comments below because I would love to know. If not, I will see you guys next time.